Hello my scrappy friends, and a big welcome to my YouTube channel today. It's Melinda Sweetman here with you, and a big thank you for joining me. I am sharing my my layout for the Haunting YouTube Hop for the Tracy Reed Designs team, and I'm starting off in Photoshop Elements. I presume if you have regular Photoshop, you probably know where the buttons are. What I'm doing here, you can see I've got my canvas with my photo on the left hand side, which has not been edited yet, and my full page on the right hand side. I've just dropped those two pieces in there. Then I've also dropped in the cut file and the pattern paper on top, and then right clicked on the pattern paper, making sure that that was directly over the cut file. Right click and create clipping mask, and then I've got that pumpkin pattern over the cut file. What I'm working on now is making my cut file look like it's like puffy almost. So you can see I've opened up my style settings on the cut file layer, and I have a drop shadow, and I've moved that box out of the way. You can see it a bit better now, and I'm just playing with the lighting angle, the size, the distance, and the opacity. So the size is how far, like how big it is, obviously. The distance is how far away from the object it is, and the opacity is how dark the shadow is. So you just saw me change the opacity there, and that shadow got really dark. And you can see I'm just playing with the distance, which just takes it further away, and then I'm going to play with the angle a little bit. And you can see how it looks like it has a puffy finish, and that's using that bevel down the bottom there. You can see I've ticked the box, and it's on 65, I think, from here, and the direction is up. If you go down, then basically you have like a puffy edge, and then it kind of dips down. It's actually a fun effect, but obviously I didn't want that for this, so I've gone with this way. Now I did come back in after I printed this, and then redid it and recorded it, so I think it does look a little bit different to what I printed, but that's okay. So yeah, I'm just going back in again to play with that beveled edge. I wasn't exactly sure which way I wanted it. I'm happy with it like that, and here is how that ended up. I'm going to go back into Photoshop Elements again, and I'm just opening up the embellishments from the Haunting collection. I wanted this enamel pin, which says October 31, and this is going to be on top of my photo. I'm going to print it right on there. I'm going to resize it, and then I'm going to right click on the cut file layer, copy layer style, and then paste layer style, and then I'm going to go in and edit the style settings. I wanted the shadow on this one a bit lighter, so I'm going to play with the opacity and turn off the bevel, and then that gives me the look that I want for that bit. Here is a photo of how that looks before I printed it, and here I am in real life with those pages printed. You can see I've edited my photo now as well, and I've got, so the paper I'm using on the right hand side is actually one of the Traveler's Notebook signatures, and I've printed that at 5 by 8.25 to fit into my Traveler's Notebook. I've also printed, I've printed a ton of the stickers, but I've also printed some of the digital embellishments, because you know every single time I get a Tracy Reed collection I do print some of those. Happy coincidence here, I realized as I was going through my little bowl of die cuts here that the two pin, so there's a couple of pinwheels that I printed and a couple of flare badges that I printed, and the flare badges that are the same things that are on the middle of the pinwheels are exactly the same size, so I can lay them up. As I was pulling embellishments for this, I don't know how it took me so long to work it out. I realised that Sally, from, if you don't know, Nightmare Before Christmas, makes a potion, and it's kind of her specialty. And I was like, I can use the potions in this layout. So that is how I end up going with the potions. Nighttime, obviously, for a couple of reasons. It's Halloween, it's spooky, it's the Nightmare Before Christmas. Well, I'm dressed as Sally from the Nightmare Before Christmas. So I just embrace that theme. I also printed onto that right hand page, you can see that label with the bats on it. I just tucked that behind the cut file layers and added a drop shadow to that, and I printed that directly onto that traveler's notebook page as well. I don't like to have a ton of bulk in my traveler's notebooks because otherwise they fill up way too quickly. So this is a fun way of making it look like it has dimension without bulking it up too much. I am happy with what I've got on the left hand side there. I like that pop of lime green. I really like the clouds on the right hand side, but I didn't love the white border. So you can see I'm playing here with the other pinwheel, but then I decided there was way too much orange on that side. Well, I haven't yet, but I will in a minute. So I'm going to pull in these clouds. Now these clouds are from the embellishment kit, and they are vellum clouds. I have printed them onto paper, so they're not vellum, but I love the effect that they've got. They're a fun colour. I like the shape. I like how they've got like the variation in the colours as well, how it's got the dark and the light. So I'm going to play with those and make a cluster up here. I like that the continuation of the circles with the other flare badge up there. So I'm going to go with that, and I don't know if you've noticed, but I've got a couple of little bats in here. They are the cutest little things ever. I love them. So I think I end up with 3 to create my visual triangle, but you can see I'm just building that cluster at the top there with those clouds, and I think I'm going to start sticking things down here in a second. Yeah, move this little bat up here. I've got then that diagonal line of the bats. So I stick this down and then realise that that's not what I wanted to do just yet, so I pull it up again. So stick that down, and I'm going to add some little foam dots to the back of the little potion flare. Take the backing off, and then I'm going to be, oh, that's right, I wanted to ink everything up. So I do grab a little foam blending tool and my Black Silk Distress Oxide ink, and I'm like, oh, I didn't ink this up, so pull it up. Thankfully, I didn't damage anything for the win, and I'm just going to ink everything up as I go. Because it's got glue on the back, it was a bit sticky, obviously. And because it's me, I managed to get black ink where I didn't want it. Stick this back down. I realised after I fussed with it for ages that it didn't matter if that little cauldron was perfectly straight or not, because I'm sticking another one right over the top, but that's okay. Pop this one on top. I really like the way they look together. And then I'm using some lower profile foam squares to pop my little bat on. He's so cute. I hope you're going for cute, Tracy. I really do. But these bats are awesome. I love them. So I'm going to show you a little bit of this, but not the whole process because it's not that exciting. I'm going to ink everything up. You can see on these clouds I have a bit of an extra white border. That was my cameo. I'm just going to trim that off and then ink up the edges and stick everything down. So I know that my little tutorial at the beginning was super quick, and it was just going over that one technique of adding the shadow and like the beveled edge to make it look like it's a puffy sticker. And I hope that you got something from it. If you have any questions or it wasn't particularly clear, please do leave me a comment. I'm more than happy to try to explain differently. I am pretty much self-taught when it comes to Photoshop. I just press buttons and hope for the best. I listen when other people talk through their demos. Thank you, Tracy. And yeah, so I will do the best that I can to explain things if you have any questions, or if you know somewhere that's a really great place to learn more Photoshop stuff, please let me know. I didn't want to move these clouds, so I just used my Scotch tacky glue. That's what I've got in that little bottle, and I'm lifting things up and applying glue underneath. That way it doesn't shift. I'm going to pop up my other little flare badge here, and And pop up my bats as well with these lower profile. And then this little bat gets moved around about a gazillion times. And I am actually happy to report that it doesn't end up in the same place that it originally started at, which I thought was different. Doesn't normally happen like that. But you can see I do move him around a fair bit, just trying to get just the right place, and I feel like he's pretty happy where he is now. Right there. And then I've got that diagonal from the bottom right to the top left with the bats. I've also got, I don't know if you've noticed, I've got like a triangle of orange as well. So the October 31, my title, and then the orange clouds. That was definitely intentional. And then I've got another diagonal from the two flare badges, one from the bottom left up to the top right. I feel like it just makes everything flow really nicely. I originally hadn't thought of using this teal colour, but I really like the way the orange looks on it. It really pops. And I feel like it works really well with my photo too, so I'm really, really happy with that. That is because they are pretty much complementary on the colour wheel. If you don't have any colour wheel knowledge, anything that's opposite each other on the colour wheel is going to look really good together. And this is like a blue-green, and orange is on the opposite side of the colour wheel. I wanted to add in a little bit of something, so I found these little black gems, and I'm going to add 3 lots of 3. I'm going to, what am I going to do next? I think I add some black splatters. Yes, and I was smart. I was so impressed with myself. I grabbed a piece of acetate that was sitting on my desk and covered my photo up. I think I still managed to get some black splatter where I didn't want it. But anyway, this is my little triangle tray with black watercolor in it. I just added a little bit more. It's actually black gouache, and I find that gives me fantastic black, and I also have white splatters. I really like the way that they dry and stay either black or white, and it's super easy to reactivate it. Oh yes, I got black where I didn't want it because I had black on my hands. Because I don't know, are you the same as me? Do you manage to get ink everywhere when you use any kind of ink, or is it just me? Am I just special? On this side, I decided I wanted to cover up my label because I knew I wanted my journaling to be legible. So I covered that up with the acetate. I'm going to add some splatters up the top here, and then down the bottom, move my acetate again so that I can get a couple on the bottom left-hand corner. And that is going to finish this off. I really love the way this came together. I actually had heaps of fun last year dressed up as Sally. I think I put the most effort in my family last year. I hope you've enjoyed my share today. Make sure you hop along to everyone else on the YouTube hop. All the links will be in the description box below. Make sure you grab this collection while it is still on sale. It is super fun, super fun. I love it. If you have any questions, please make sure you drop them below. And as always, thank you ever so much for choosing to spend your scrappy time with me. If you're new here, welcome. If you are a subscriber, thank you. For those of you that leave me comments, I really do appreciate it. Thanks again for stopping by. Have a fantastic scrappy day, my friends.